So welcome to Joy Good's book launch party. Today we're all here to celebrate her and the launch of this amazing book. I don't know if any of you have gotten your copy yet if you live close to Joy, but this is the hardcover version of Dave Asks Permission. And it is our first children's picture book at O'Leary Publishing. And so I'm very honored that Joy was willing to let us take her on that ride. I'm April O'Leary with O'Leary Publishing, and Joy and I got connected earlier this summer, I believe. And this is going to be really a behind the scenes peek as to what it's like to be an author, straight from the author herself. And so I hope that you learned something tonight, that you feel excited for Joy, that you support her by purchasing her book for yourself, for your children, grandchildren, teachers that you know. And for me, as an independent publisher, there's nothing better than supporting someone who is a first-time author. It's so exciting. So welcome to everybody who's here. And Joy, you are our star for the evening, and you have been such a joy to work with, and you're so
Thank you.
talented. I said to her earlier today when we recorded our podcast that she is really just such a talented and gifted author in so many ways. And many of you know her probably from various capacities, whether that's a friend or a colleague or a relative. But I'm going to have her tell a little bit for those of you who don't know all of her background. Some of you may not. A little bit about her background, professional background, and how she came to writing this story about her dog, Dave. So go ahead and take the stage, Joy.
Okay. Thanks for coming, everybody. I really appreciate it. I am a little bit nervous, so hopefully I won't sound ridiculous or anything. Anyway, I was a school teacher for 28 years. I started in third grade, then I went to fourth. I spent most of my career in sixth grade, and then I finished up in eighth grade. And every grade in teaching reading and English, you teach students point of view. And I could never find anything in second person point of view. And I feel like in this day and age, there's so many books out there and there's so much content that I needed to find a niche or a niche, however you pronounce that word. And I read a book one time when I was teaching, I believe, sixth grade. It was a book called Confidence. It was a chapter book by Todd Strasser, and it was written in second person. And the narrator stood outside the story, and he spoke to the main character. He spoke to the protagonist and called her you, and he told her how she was feeling and what she was doing. And I just remember that just stuck with me. And I also realized that, when I went to teach points of view, that there was really very little in second person, because second person is typically a list of directions where they're a list of command sentences where you're telling a person what to do and the you is implied. So I just felt like I liked the idea of it for Dave because it allowed a human to interpret what Dave was thinking, because none of us really know how dogs think. And this way it was still told by a human, but it's the human saying, hey, I know how you feel, Dave. This is how you felt about this, and this is how you heard this. And it just to me seemed like a good fit for the story. I had written it in first person and then I tried it in second, and I just think that I like the way I like writing that way. So that's how that kind of came about.
And I love
Dave gave me the story.
And
Go
and
ahead.
I love that she was able to think like a teacher and also a creative writer. And she tried it out in the first person, and then she changed it up and wrote it in the second person. And that's sometimes how writing goes is, we try one thing and that's our first draft, and then we scrap it and we modify it. And so she went through a lot of this process before ever coming to us. And so I said to her earlier today that, you came to me with something that was very well developed. And in addition to having a very well developed and interesting story with a very unique narrative perspective, she also had the photographs that she had done in a very creative way. And I want you to talk a little bit about how that process worked for you, because I think what's different about children's books and why we haven't tackled them a lot here at O'Leary Publishing is because there's this unique um, process that doesn't happen in adult nonfiction books where you're designing, the fonts and the layouts and those kind of things, but you're not trying to
Right.
pictures with um, the storyline. And so she came to us with all of these photographs as well. And tell them a little bit about how that worked for you and how you thought through that process, and then how you were able to modify the photos to make them what they are.
Okay. Well, the story happened back in 2014 when Dave was a year old. I kind of had written the story for years, basically. Did it, stopped, did it, stopped. And then when I got serious about it, it was in the summer of 2021. And Ethan happened to be home with Dave, and Ethan and Dave are actually on the Zoom right now. So Dave is actually here with us tonight, which is kind of cool. Um, and anyway, I I had thought about using some artists. I have a teacher friend of mine who's an artist. I have a sorority sister who's an artist, but then I don't know, I just felt like I wanted it really truly to be Dave. And then I'm a character in the story as well. And I had used before, I was a scrapbooker when my kids were growing up, and I had kind of gotten into using these photo apps, and I used one called Prisma. And when you take the Prisma app and you put a regular photograph into it, you can try all these different filters. And I came up with a filter that I thought looked like how I like um, picture book illustrations to be. I like kind of that watercolory look, kind of like faded edges and things like that. And so, what Keith and I did in the summer of 2021, really a week before Ethan took him back out to Idaho, where they live now, I wrote down, here are the pictures I need for the first day. That the story takes place over a 3-day period. And so I would wear different clothes, and I would say, okay, I need this photo, and then I need this photo, and then I need this photo. And then the next day I'd change clothes, and we did the photos for the next day, and then the day after that. And so I just kind of had to think through, what do I want that photo to look like, or what do I want the illustration to look like to go along with that text to tell the story. And then when I worked with Jessica, the April's book designer, she helped me with the layout and, how we faded some of the illustrations in, say something didn't need a setting. So she blurred it, and so that it took it just to like maybe Dave and me, or just to a bowl, or just to a cookie. And it was really a fun process to do, to see what she could do after, in addition to what I had learned on the Prisma app. So that's kind of how that process went.
And I love it because I'm not a graphic designer. So I don't necessarily know what images will work. And so the first
Hmm.
meeting that Joy and I had here in Naples, Florida, I said to her, I'm really not sure if these are going to be able to be used, what the quality is, or whatever. And that's when I sent everything to Jessica. And I said,
Hmm.
Jessica, can you take a look at all of this and tell me what you think? And so Jessica was in on this project before the very beginning. So, Jessica, let's talk a little bit about your process in laying out this book. And we were talking about the fading out of some of the background and the 2-page spreads versus the 1-page spreads, and how you and Joy went back and forth. So, from your perspective, let's talk a little bit about the design and what you brought to it and how you worked through some of those things.
First of all, Joy gave me, so I really love doing children's books and I do not get a lot of them. So it was a pleasure to work with you, Joy, to get that
And you.
off the ground.
Thank you.
Um, I guess what I would say is, after looking at all the drawings and kind of matching it up, how we were going to match it up with the words, I feel like when I got it on the page, certain things kind of popped out at me. And then I was able to say, oh, you know what? This is probably going to be better as a full page versus how we wanted to do it, like page, page, page. And then I kind of just checked in with you guys to make sure that you agreed with my thinking. And then I also liked how we didn't keep it like, oh, everything has to have a faded out edge. You guys were fine with it, that we could kind of vary that. And I think that makes it really nice for your eye going through the book.
Right. It's not too redundant. It's not like every page has the same look and the same format and the same, the sizes are different. Some of them are all the way across the page. Some of them are much smaller, but it worked.
Yes. No, it was a
Yeah,
lot
I'm
of
happy with the way it turned out. Yeah, thank you for your help and in opinions and all of that.
awesome.
And Jessica is able to really bring some of those pictures to life, and how she was able to do that, to me, is very magical. What you and I were talking about earlier, Joy, is that some of the things that you even were thinking, Jessica, you had ideas and tools in your toolbox that we didn't even know were available. And so I don't know if you have your book there, Joy, and if you want to hold it up and show any of the maybe 2-page spreads or 1-page spreads that really are your favorites.
Sure.
I was going to screen share, but I thought it's nice for you to just show it.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it. So this picture of Dave and me that I'm kind of showing, this was kind of an example of one of the ones where what was most important in the photo wasn't the wood floor, it was Dave and it was me. And so you'll see on that one that it's really just focuses on the two of us. And then I'll show you one that has more of the background. Hold on one second. Like this one, where Dave is, he's eyeing the cookies. This is like a key point in the story. And you need this, that he's sitting by the stove. You kind of need the perspective of where he is in the kitchen and where the cookies are. And you can see the smile on his face. Like he was a star. When we took these photos, you'll see his facial expressions on certain pictures that is just like, they're just something. Like
Joy,
here, where
real
he's,
quick, Joy, one thing that I forgot to add, you know
sure.
how in the beginning we had things more grayed out, and then we brought the color of like the rugs, the blue of the rugs
Yes,
up more? Does
right.
that, when you're looking at these, because I don't have a copy, does that make a huge difference?
To me, it does, yes,
Oh,
because
nice.
they were getting too faded out, and I did like, obviously it's the colors of the theme, the red, the cream, the black, but then when you pulled in some of the colors again of the setting, it made all the difference. Yep, so it turned out really well. This is probably my favorite picture of Dave's face in the whole thing, because you can see that he is like, he's very intent upon what it is that I'm getting, because he's hoping it's cookie dough, but on that particular page, I was just reaching for a cookie sheet. So I would say that's one of my favorite facial expressions of Dave's. So
This
yeah,
book is just, I mean, it's adorable from start to finish. And who doesn't love a cute golden retriever who's
well,
begging
right,
for a cookie?
right,
But I
yeah,
love the way she talks about it. I would love for you to read a little bit of the narrative, and I would love to talk about how she was able to take this story of Dave and weave it into a character lesson for kids about integrity, which I think not only did she use the second person narrative, which is very unique, she was able to have photographs that were realistic, but yet interesting in an artful way. And she was able to tie in something that was, at the end of the day, a lesson for kids at the end of the story. So go ahead and read a page and maybe show the illustration, and whichever one you want.
okay. I'll just start with this one that I was just showing you guys with Dave's facial expression. And my name in the story is Grammy, because that's what I became when, when your first grandchild is a dog, you end up naming yourself. So anyway, I'm Grammy. Then Grammy leans down. You remember this part from yesterday, how good the dough tasted on her hands. You hope to have another taste, but instead she reaches for what she says is a cookie sheet. You watch as Grammy lays the cookies in 2 straight rows on the cookie sheet. So that page doesn't have any dialogue, but I do also talk to Dave. So I'll go another page farther here. Grammy grabs the handle right beside your head, pulling it down. She says, oops, I'm not doing this very well. Am I? Oh, no, I'm backward. She says, Davy, move back a little. I don't want the oven door to burn you. You back up, but not too far. And then you see a picture of him where he decides to go lie down and rest. So.
And I think what's really interesting too is all of these pieces of the puzzle that she put together into this book, which are not only fun and exciting, and it's a great story, it gets kids thinking in a different way, because trying to think in a second person narrative is not easy. And one of the things that we did in this process is we got the Lexile for the book measured, and talk a little bit about that as a teacher and what that means, and what the level was, if you would.
Okay, so you'll see on the back here, there's the Lexile level. It says Lexile 570. So what that means is a Lexile level is determined by vocabulary, by sentence structure, by point of view, by length of text, by other, by is there repetition, is there dialogue? All those things go into figuring out the Lexile level. How long I think maybe I already said that, how long the sentences are. So with this book, it's like a second to a 4th grade reading level. But I feel like it's a book that needs some instruction from a teacher. I see it as a very good read aloud. Especially, when demonstrating second person narration, but also I see it as a good book for guidance counselors, because ultimately there's a lesson to be learned, and the lesson is integrity, doing the right thing even when no one is looking. And that's what Dave did in the book. And Dave handed me that story because he was a good dog, and he knew the rules, and he knew what he was allowed to do and what he wasn't allowed to do. And so the story just kind of landed in my lap. And for that, I'm very thankful to Dave for being a good dog, and to Ethan for training him to be a good dog, because he was trained from a really early age, and he follows rules. So
Which is
yeah.
amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
part of what I think is important as well, because including some of these key components gives this book legs to get into schools and libraries, and
Mm-hmm.
for teachers to use it as part of their curriculum instruction. And
Mm-hmm.
so at one point I said, you've got all this teaching background. Can you find a
Mm-hmm.
course standard that this directly applies to? And let's put it in the book, so that becomes
Right.
a very easily integratable book. And so Joy did that. I mean, I'm sure that was something you could do in your sleep. So
Oh
if you want
yeah.
to show
Mm-hmm.
that, but we included it
Sure.
on the website as well. Yeah.
Yeah, right here on the title page at the very top, it's a Common Core standard for literacy. This one, actually, the one that's recorded here is for 4th grade, but you'll see similar ones regardless of the grade level. And it is this: compare and contrast the point of view from which different stories are narrated, including the difference between first, second, and third person narrations. So yeah, it's very teacher oriented with the Lexile level and with the standard associated with the book. And there are other things that I kind of incorporated into there too, lessons that go along with it. There are some inferencing type lessons. There are some vocabulary context clue type of lessons. There's some literary types of lessons with some repetitions and parallel structure, things like that, that'll come later, developing lesson plans that go along with the book. So lots of things kind of ingrained in your mind as a teacher with how you can teach a text like this.
So this is what I love most about the book, is that all of these things that as adults we can talk about kids learning and the core curriculum and the second person narration and the this and that, you know, but at the end of the day, it's just a great story. It's a fun
Right.
story. It's an exciting
Hmm.
story. It's adorable. It teaches a lesson, and it's all something that's done in a way that's just positive and exciting for kids. It's not a boring book that's
Right.
be
It's a
something
great
like,
book
oh, we've
for,
got to get that book through. But this is
right,
something that every kid can relate to, loving dogs and
right,
wanting to, you know, be excited for Dave to have the cookie and then how he
right.
doesn't take it right away. So um I just think it's
Hmm.
done beautifully and
Yeah.
from every level really. So now, you know, Joy is coming to us as a first time author. And so part of the process of developing a book is also developing a brand. And Joy has a much bigger vision for this. And I think that part of launching the first stage of that vision was also putting together a website, and it was
Hmm.
getting some of the ideas put forth, and seeding some of that for what's to come in the future. So do you want to show a little bit about that last page and what you included there?
Oh, sure. So, Dave has a lot of stories, and this, can you see that? No. I'm sorry, the wrong side. I'm terrible. Okay, there we go. So, Dave has a lot of adventures. So, I have already started writing the second book. It's called Dave Moves West. Dave and Ethan moved to Idaho in 2015, and there is quite another real story, true story there that I have already started to write. The character trait that goes along with that story is courage. And then for this book, you know, I used red because Dave has always worn a red bandana. But in my vision for moving forward, you can see the spine of the book. It's this, I'll show you the hardcover. It's a little bit bigger. Um, it says the title and then my name. And then at the bottom, it says integrity. So the next book will be, Dave will be in black, and then Moves West will be in Idaho blue, actually. We Googled that and put put the actual blue of Idaho for the next one. And then on the book, on the side, on the spine, it will say courage here. And so that will be the second book in the series that I'm working on. And then Dave's had lots of other adventures. I can see one being named Dave Meets Some Friend. Like Dave has had some encounters with a lot of wildlife in Idaho, and there are some good stories there. Um, Dave has a lot of friends, both animal and human, and I can see a story there. And then also one last thing, a lot of you know of my dog Chandler, and some of you I'm sure giggle because Chandler was not the dog that Dave is, but Chandler does lend herself to some pretty good stories. So that is actually why we didn't name the website for Dave. We named it Joy Good Author because I have plans to not just write about Dave, but also to tell some Chandler stories. And a lot of you already know what some of those stories are. They're a little scary, but funny and good. So anyway, Joy Good Author, we thought just suited long term my ability to grow as an author and incorporate everything that I might write someday. So that's
I love
that's
it.
kind of our
Yes.
thought
And
process with that.
yes. So I said, Joy, your name will always be Joy Good. So whatever you decide to do and whatever books you have and whatever direction this
Right.
goes, you will always be you. And I think
Yeah.
that's the important thing to know. And something that I share with all of our authors is that books, sort of like what if you've had a child and you imagine for
Hmm.
yourself what that child's life will be like or where they'll go. Like, you know, could you have
Hmm.
imagined Ethan move out west? Maybe not, but they kind of take on a
Hmm.
life of their own. And I think that's the
Right.
exciting thing with, you know, birthing a book. It kind of becomes this
Hmm.
baby that will start to have a life of its own. And so we
Yes.
get to usher it along and kind of nurture it and
Mhm.
feed it and
Right.
change its diapers
Yep.
if it needs it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it becomes something that we grow with, and it grows with us, and it's a very exciting adventure. So I want to share, before I open this up for everyone to raise their hand and sort of chime in and share something with Joy, I want to share her website because it's beautiful. I want to play the video that's there on the home screen so you can see it because it's very cute. And it's also where you can order. And I'm going to put that in the chat, actually. If you want to put joygood.net is where you can get her hardcover or paperback signed copies. They're great gifts to, think of for the holiday season, which is coming up right around the corner. So for any kids, any teachers, librarians, grandparents who would want to have that to read to their grandchildren, order multiple copies, and then you have your Christmas shopping done. So how great is that? So I'm going to share, and I'm going to share this here so you can see her website. Most of you probably registered through the green button, and you may have already ordered a signed copy. We have a section for parents and teachers. We recorded some beautiful videos yesterday where she's talking to parents and teachers and showing the book off, and some of those videos will be on the website soon. But if you hadn't gotten a chance to see this video, I think it's 30 seconds long. I'm going to play it for you because I think it just came out so good. Can you hear the audio? You could hear the audio on that. I tried to share it through the screen, but maybe not. Could you hear that?
I could.
Okay, good. Because I couldn't hear on my end, but I think it was filtering it through to you. So this is where you can order your signed copies. We've got the cute front cover here, meeting Dave, the lovable dog with the heart of gold. We shared some of the interior images, which Joy shared with you. These are just a few of the beautiful illustrations. And then Joy, who has her beautiful headshot here. It's on the back cover as well. And we included the note to the parents or teachers and the curriculum standard that it meets, which I think are important to also have front and center. One of the things that, as her publisher, I always like to say, what's the way you can best help your friend, family member, neighbor, whoever, whatever your relation is. When somebody new launches a book, the best way you can support them is to purchase a copy, share it with others, and leave an Amazon review. So if you can do those things, that's the best way, because Joy is only one person. I'm only one person. So the more we can get word of mouth and spread those good words about her book, but also Joy, with her background in education, we're going to be looking to do school visits, virtual school read alouds, and all of those kinds of things, so that she will be able to introduce the book into schools. And so if you have any of those introductions or ideas for her, she would love to know that as well. And I would love to open this up and give you all a chance to share something with Joy about her, wish her well, tell her something you thought about the presentation tonight. And since we're a group of 46, I think it's okay if you want to click raise hand, if you can see that button on the bottom, and then I will just call on your name and you can unmute yourself. That way everyone doesn't feel like they need to wait or talk over one another. So Mark, you can go first. And for whoever wants to go ahead and you can raise your hand, and then that way we know who's coming up next, and it works well that way. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, hey there, Joy. Wonderful.
Hi, Mark.
Thank you. I think a few other people on the call go back beyond 40 years with Joy. So I don't think she, in her brand building endeavors, I don't think she wants us telling any stories.
Probably not.
But okay, I'll preface this by saying that I joined the call 6 minutes late, so I could have missed the answer to my question.
Okay.
To which you could just say, well, Dempster, just like in high school, I have to repeat myself to you. My question is about inspiration moment, and there's a kind of a couple of pieces of it that interest me. I saw on your website that you're the sort of the problem of not having access to enough secondhand narratives, I think was the terminology used, and so I can get that, but I'm also thinking about you as in your career and in your own life, you had retired from teaching,
Mhm.
and you could very well go on to some other completely unique activity to do for your professional self. How is it you decided, like, I need to do something, I need to write something? Is take us there as an author, like, I need to create a book or a series of books. And then I guess the other part of that is, how did you lock into this idea of Dave, as a way to kind of get at the objective?
Well, actually, it's kind of a lazy answer, honestly. I mean, Dave provided the story. It's a true story, and all I had to do was tell it. So I think personally, actually, I mean, I love Dave so much that, and I just think the story it has so many different facets. The fact that a dog is smart enough to do what he did. Um, as far as why I decided to write, I think, a few years ago, some of you guys read, I had a blog for a few years. I'm not sure, Mark, if you ever read any of the blog that I had a few years ago. And I'm not even sure why I started. I just feel like I like to write. I have gotten kind of positive reinforcement from writing. And then, when I had the opportunity to do this, I don't know, I just feel like it's something, and you say it's like, well, why did you choose this? I've also chosen to become a mermaid, and I'm a swim instructor. I have the support from Keith. I have the ability to do whatever I want to do, and I'm doing it. I can be whoever I want to be. I loved being a teacher, but I don't miss it. Um, I am now volunteering in a hospital. I could volunteer in a school, but now I'm kind of doing a hospital thing. So I guess I just feel like you can be whatever you want to be and do whatever you want to do if you have the support of people who love you and allow you to do that. And I have that. So I'm just really lucky.
Beautiful. I love that answer. Thank you, Mark. That was a very thoughtful question. Ethan, your turn. And Dave, if Dave wants to say anything to Grammy.
Dave, come on. Hi there, everybody. How we doing? It's Dave and Ethan coming to you.
Hi.
So we just wanted to say hi. It's a great book. We're really excited about it. Mr. Tickles doesn't like it. That's my roommate's cat, but that's okay.
Yeah, we heard he didn't like it, but maybe we'll write a book about him.
Oh, it's all right.
Tickles, and then he'll be happy.
Yeah, he'll be happier. He'll be in the Dave and Friends book or whatever that one's going to be called.
He'll be the Dave meets his friends. That's exactly right. That sounds
all right. Well,
great.
just wanted to say hi.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Ethan.
Good to meet you,
All right.
Ethan. And how does it feel to have a celebrity dog? Not many people have a dog that has a book written about them.
Yeah, he's going to be famous. I know it.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain of it.
That's the goal.
All right.
Nice to see you, Ethan. Cassandra,
Thanks,
you're
Dave.
up. You have to unmute yourself on the bottom left corner. There you go. Perfect.
Joy, we haven't met yet, but we both work at the hospital. And
yes, hi, thanks for coming.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I'm wondering, I live next to a local school. Do you go into schools, perhaps in a library setting, and read your book to the kids, or does that happen?
That's my plan. That's my plan. Once we got this launch done, that is my next goal, to start making contact with the powers that be in Lee County schools and in Collier County schools, and, pursue going in and doing author visits, talking to kids about the writing process, maybe running them through a lesson of how could you write something in second person narration, sharing the story. That's definitely on my list of things that I want to do now that I've established all of this.
Real, yeah. Can we help you by doing that, going around and seeing if we can set something up for you?
Absolutely. I'll give you a buzz and we'll talk. Yeah,
Okay.
I could, the more help, the better. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, never know.
Yeah, thank you for coming tonight too.
Thank you for inspiring us all.
Oh,
This is
you're welcome.
thing. Truly, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I was going to say, my husband is a poet, and so he's
Oh,
so excited by to meet you. Is it Lynn? It's April.
April? April. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
April's a
Yes.
great publisher. Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, it's
Maybe a
nice
good
to meet
resource for your husband.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I'll
thank
get
you
in
for
touch with you,
offering your
Cassandra.
help for Joy. Thank you for offering your help for Joy. And we are going to be
Thank
putting
you.
together some pieces of media that will be school friendly. That would be awesome if you wanted to bring that by the school once we get those ready. And yes, as we said, the more help, the better. So thank you for offering. That was really kind.
Yes, for
Rebecca,
sure.
would you like to go next?
Hi, Joy. It's Becky.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Thanks for coming. Good.
I want to try to show you my Dave. Come here. Come here. Can you see it? Well, let's see.
Now you have girl Goldens, right?
I have two. Yes. This is
Two, that's what I thought.
Lacey.
Lacey.
She's two. Yes. Kind of
Aw.
here. She's a little blurry there. But yeah, so you inspired us to get Goldens after seeing how well behaved your dogs always were.
Aw, thank you.
We're
Thank
inspired.
you. And I'm so glad you got two. Isn't it great to have two?
It is. It's quite a different experience to have two for sure.
It is. It is.
That
But you
one.
learn about their personalities, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But congratulations. It seems like I can't wait to
you.
get my books. I'm going to order a couple more copies for my sister and niece, who are both teachers.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate
I think that'll
your
be really
support.
great. Yep.
Good. Thank you, Becky.
Yep.
All right,
Congratulations.
thanks for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Who would like to be next? You can just unmute if you'd like. Go ahead, Amy.
Joy, I just want to say congratulations. I'm
Hi.
so excited for you, and I love
Thank
the
you.
story. I love the idea. I think it's great. So I'm
Thank
excited
you.
to get my copy. So
Now I can't wait to hear about how kids react to it.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't even thought of that yet, because
Ex-
it's like it's really hasn't been in the hands of any children. So
That's-
I can't wait then to hear what your grandkids think about it. So
Yeah. we'll
that's
let you know
the
for
next
sure.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Congrats.
Thanks so
That's
much,
exciting.
Amy.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right, Scott, you're up.
I came into the meeting late, but did we already talk about Mr. Tickles?
A little bit, Scott, just that he does not like the book.
Oh yeah, I mean he's not a very good reader though, so he doesn't have opposable thumbs, so we had to turn the pages for him. But yeah,
Well,
but
I
he
mean,
does
maybe
love
we
Dave.
can work on an audio version.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
Audio
Joey.
is next. Yeah, it's good to see you. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. Lenore, you're up.
Hi. Oh gosh. Hang on, let me mute and get rid of my dog. There she goes. Okay. She is not well trained. So Joy, I just wanted to say I am so excited for you and so proud of you. It sounds silly to say I'm proud of you, but I am so proud of you. And I ordered one copy and I need to get one for my daughter and my sister, who are both teachers. I know they're going to love it because we are definitely dog family. So this is just so exciting.
Well, thank you. Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
coming, Lenore. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
So much.
Thank you.
All right, Marianne, go ahead.
there he was. Joy, I am the same thing. I'm so proud of you. I think this is so
Thank
awesome.
you.
I've lived my
Thank
life
you.
curiously through you because you have dogs. And I haven't been fortunate enough to get one, but I love the stories. And I can't wait to year the book with our upcoming grandchild. It'll be a couple years
Good.
to comprehend, but
Right.
really excited for you and that you are seeing your vision. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's this tonight is the hardest thing for me. I said writing the book is the easy part. It's the putting myself out there and promoting it and all of that. That's you know, outside of my comfort zone, I guess. I can't wait to write the next one and be glad that all this infrastructure is getting set up because, you know, then the next one
time
will be easier. Yes.
We hope.
Yeah. So it's been a great process, but I appreciate your support and thanks for putting it on Facebook for me too. That was so nice.
No problem. So has Dave been to Florida?
No, he has not. It's a long drive to Florida from Idaho and putting him on a plane. Oh,
that might be
can't
another
do
book.
it. Yeah, right. Yeah, no kids. See, the possibilities are endless, right?
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get to see you this season. Good luck.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Marianne.
And I will chime in and say that Joy says she's not good with promotion or whatever. And yesterday when we were doing some photos and videos, the first thing she said was, I'm just not photogenic at all. And I can tell you every picture I took was better than the next. And she's a natural on camera. So I don't know where she's getting this. I'm not good with promotion, but she's definitely very good at what she does.
You.
So
well, you're a great support.
Go ahead, Greg. I know that you're probably not Greg, but your profile says Greg.
Oh, that would be me. I didn't know that.
I don't want to assume your name's not Greg. I don't know. Maybe it is.
Right.
So
no, my name hasn't changed recently, but
hi, Myrna.
I just am so excited for you. And I'm not
Thank you.
at all surprised by your vision in all this. And honestly, it was just kind of meant to be. I remember you taking and doing that special photo thing that you were just talking about years ago. And I was like, that is the coolest thing. You would take these pictures and it would be like, how did you do that? It is just the coolest app. I mean, so like, you know, we're meant to do this. You will be great.
Thank you.
You should bring Chandler into it a little bit because I know we have stories there.
You know the story.
I had to laugh because I have Chandler stories and I know you.
They're so good. I have to write them, right?
And
oh my gosh.
It made me appreciative of when Joy is the only person I would ever text who I would reread to make sure all my apostrophes and everything are correct. You know, she's always been that way. She can be at bars and she would see a sign up with a band where there needed an apostrophe and she walked up with a marker and fixed it. You know, that's what she does.
Yes, I did do that. And then when they fixed it after a hurricane knocked it down, when they re-put up the sign, it had an apostrophe.
Yes, it did.
So hey, you know.
So you're leaving impacts everywhere, even in Goodland, Florida.
Right. Exactly.
Anyway,
that was
classic. It's going to be great. And I've ordered one copy, but I know I'm going to be ordering a lot more. So,
well, I can't wait to hear what the kids what they think about it.
Oh, I'm sure they'll love it.
So I hope so. Thanks, Myrna. Thank you
so much. Thank you for ordering too. Amanda, you're up next. You just have to unmute yourself first.
Sorry.
No problem.
Hi, I just wanted to share that when I taught with Joy as an English teacher at Berkshire when she was still in Ohio. And when I got hired, she was the first English teacher that I worked with. And she definitely helped me learn how to teach writing as a teacher. I went to her often those first few years. And I remember her giving me a story to model with students. It was about Chandler, the dog, and Joy hated dogs. And I was like so taken aback by this story that I had to share with my kids as the model. So it's been so fun to see Joy progress into a dog lover. And I just know how much Dave means to her. And this is just so exciting. I like a lot of you have said, I knew that this was something that was in her path, and I'm excited to read all the rest of them. And also, you know, we do teach point of view. I teach sixth grade, and that's when I taught with Joy. And my students and I were struggling this year to come up with examples of second person. So I can't wait for my copy to use with my students.
Yay.
So proud of you.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks for coming.
Amazing. Thank you. Wendy, you're up.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Joy.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Yay.
I'm up in Connecticut. That's actually what it looks like behind us. But
that's awesome.
I just wanted to congratulate you on this, and also thank you, because 3 of our 5 grandchildren are in the age range.
Awesome.
Yeah, which is wonderful. I've already ordered some books. I look forward to getting some more. And I just want to add, you know, although Joy and I, we've only known each other for 2 to 3 years or so, what I notice about everything she does is the quality of it. And I can't wait to get the book, because I can just tell the quality is excellent. And that means a lot, I think, you know, to parents and grandparents. It'll hold up, I think, very well. And the other thing, and actually I said 3 of our 5, we're actually expecting our 6th in like 2 weeks. So
congratulations.
we have a lot of people a lot of young people growing up that will enjoy the book, I'm sure too. But what I do with my grandchildren is I talk a lot about the pictures and the drawings. And I think your book is excellent for that, you know, even to count the number of cookies that are on the cookie sheet, you know, to describe things that are in the pictures. And I that's just been my style always with my own children and with my grandchildren, to really talk about what the illustrations have as well. So I think it looks to me like the book is going to just meet so many things, learning and the read alouds that we love to do. And so I'm just so also proud of you and feel very fortunate to know you. And I know this is going to continue to be a very successful venture for you.
Thank you, Wendy.
You're
Beautiful.
welcome.
I love that you share that type of storytelling with your kids. And I think one thing that Joy talked about earlier, is that she seeds the book with things like when the book says about the white dust flying in the air, how would you describe that? And so it wasn't about flour, for example. She doesn't say that. She lets the kid figure out what that is. And so I think she leaves a lot of question marks, and even like, would you have taken the cookie? Some of that about talking about integrity through the eyes of a dog, I think is a really rich conversations that are meant to be had with this book. So Lindsay, you're up. Is Lindsay there? Did Lindsay disappear? Who else would like to go? Do we have any other? Sarah? You're up.
Hi, former student here.
Sarah.
Hello. I can vouch for the teaching skills of Miss Joy Good. I am the writer I am today because of the teaching I got at such a formative age. And I'm just so proud of you and so excited to read this book.
Thank you, Sarah.
It's the only kind of book that I read.
For now.
I love Sarah. That's awesome. Bella, you're up.
Is it on? Oh, I just wanted to say the same thing.
I haven't seen you forever. How are you? I'm gonna cry.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Also a former student, and your English teaching was pretty much all I remember. I still remember all of that and still use all of that to this day. Definitely the best English teacher
You were a
I've
great
ever had.
student. Oh, thank you. You were you were a model student, so you were easy.
Thank you. I'm excited to get my copy.
Good. Thanks for coming, Bella.
Of course.
So good to see you. Bye.
Thank you, Bella. anyone else want to unmute while you have Joy here in person before she becomes a best-selling author and she'll no longer be reachable? I'm kidding.
No.
Not by the second part. Not by the first part. I mean, go ahead. So whoever's
Hello.
iPhone here, go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, sorry if I was running around a little bit. I got back from work really late, so I couldn't tell what. But
Thanks for hopping on.
Oh my gosh, I set it in there. I already bought a couple of them for the boys.
Oh,
Joy
great.
bought all three of my kids. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And I
You have great kids.
there too. So hi, Kate. She taught them also. But Joy, so fun. I'm excited for it. And they all have three grandbabies now. So they love books, and they'll start naming dogs. So they are getting them for Christmas. I just think it's so great. Congratulations.
Thank you for supporting me. Thanks, Carolyn.
Yeah, good luck to you. Take care.
Thank you. Good to see you. Bye.
You too.
Thanks.
We have a couple minutes. If there's anyone who wants to share who didn't get a chance yet, feel free. Okay, well, we are so grateful that you all stayed on for this hour-long book launch Zoom. This is just the first, it's the very beginning of Joy's adventure as an author. The writing and the creativity and all of that it takes to put a book together is like, I view it as, it's like being pregnant. It's the 9 months pregnant, and it's exciting, and you're developing it, and you don't know what it's going to look like. And now today it's the birth of Dave and the Dave the Dog series. And so we get to watch this grow up together and watch Joy grow as an author. And I really want to thank each and every one of you for taking time this evening to be on with us, for supporting Joy, for loving Joy, for chiming in and sharing your excitement with her, for having ideas for her about how you can help her promote it, for being willing to leave an Amazon review, for all of those things. It does take a village to raise a baby, including a book baby. So I will say, Joy, do you have any last things you want to say before we close it up for the night?
I just want to thank everyone for coming. It really means a lot to me. I know it's hard to come to something like this. There's a million things going on in everyone else's lives, and I recognize that. And the support really means a lot to me. It's like I said, this was a nervous thing for me. So the fact that you're all here made it really great, and I really appreciate your support. And I really hope you like the book, and I hope you have a great week, everybody. Thank you so much.
And I'll say special thanks to Keith for all his support of Joy as she's launched this, for taking the photos. You are the silent photographer as part of this book. And your participation in so many ways.
Yes,
it was integral.
With business management and technology
and
all
technology.
Of that.
Yeah, and I just really want to
could not do it without him.
Yes. So I just wanted to say thank you from our perspective as a publisher. To have a supportive partner for the author is so critical. And
absolutely,
you get an A+ if there was a report card for a supportive author partner. You got an A+. So thank you all.
Keith. Thank you.
Thank you all for being a part of this tonight. Be sure that you leave your Amazon reviews and you share this word. And I appreciate you all so much. And good night. Hope you have a good evening wherever you are.
Good night, April. Thank you.
Good night.